I want to talk to you about annotated bibliographies. Research at colleges and universities has a long history and tradition, and assignments like this also have a long history and tradition. So it's good that you know the term and you know how to do one if you're asked to do one in any class. It's really not that big of an assignment. It presupposes that you've done some reading on a topic from various sources. So when someone asks you for an annotated bibliography, that teacher is most likely asking you to pick, say, 3 to 5 to 7 sources. They'll tell you how many that are about a topic, and they want you to provide at least a paragraph on each of those sources, explaining how helpful the source was to you, or how it covered the topic, whether you would recommend it to another student researcher or not. I mean, that's basically the idea. And you write this paragraph, or sometimes 2 paragraphs on each source, trying to sum it up. And once you have those paragraphs written, you write a bibliographic entry for each of the sources, and you place it on top of the paragraph. And that bibliographic entry might be in many different types of formats. One of your teachers might want an APA. Another one might want it to be MLA. Another one might have what's called house style. So house style is just they'll give you their own rules as to how they want that entry to look like. Last name first, and how to underline or italicize or whatever the title, and you just have to roll with the instructions that you're given concerning the format that your annotated bibliography needs to be in. But for us here in this class, I want you to take 4 of the essays that we've read. I've provided these essays to you, and these essays are not about a certain topic. So the annotated bibliography that you have to write for me is a little different from really many other versions of the annotated bibliography. Almost all of annotated bibliographies that are done, either as school assignments or professionally, are about a topic, all right, or a narrow topic, or a subject, a person, an event, whatever, an idea. Here, just for practice, okay, I think it's better for us if we just went ahead and used the essays that you've been reading. This is another way for me to check to see that you're reading those essays. I want you to do that because I want you to see how these authors are creating interest, maintaining, and rewarding interest. And then I want you to see how they're using their own style and how they're making it work. So I've really carefully selected these essays, and I want you to read them. I want to make sure that you can summarize them. So let's use those. All right, just pick 4, any 4 that you want to do, and just write a paragraph summarizing what the essay is about. Now, if you think that it had a deeper point, I would like you to also list that at the end of the paragraph. And then I want you to write a bibliographic entry for it. All right. And let's go ahead and do MLA for this one, and then we'll have your research paper be an APA. Okay. Now, I'll provide another video as to give you instructions for how to get help for finding out how to do MLA formatting for the annotated bibliography. But I just want to tell you that artificial intelligence is here to stay. It can be very helpful to you. I don't want you to use artificial intelligence to write your final paper and turn it into me. But I would say to you, it's a research tool like any other. And if there is something in these instructions or these videos, this class, that you might be thinking, what exactly is an annotated bibliography, or what's a thesis, or how do you develop a topic, or what's a primary source versus a secondary source, just open up a browser, open your phone, and ask AI for examples. So I highly recommend that you go and ask AI, Google, Bing, whichever one you're using, Microsoft, just Apple, right? Ask it to provide examples of annotated bibliographies for you. And then you can see what I'm talking about. All right. Now, I'm probably going to have a couple examples here posted in the work folder for you to look at, but Those tend to get antedated. They tend to get, I don't know. You can simply ask artificial intelligence for examples as well. And you can go to YouTube and watch videos on annotated bibliography. All right. Just a word here as far as the relevance of this, like what's the point, right? Well, annotated bibliographies are actually bona fide research material. I mean, people publish 20, 30, 40 page, 150 page, 200 pages of annotated bibliography on something. It could be on American healthcare. It could be on George Washington, studies on George Washington. It could be on Van Gogh. It could be on all sorts of things. Okay, but people do this as professional writing, as a text that actually gets published and stored in archival services or in libraries, because it is a great help to other researchers. If I were to dedicate a year of my life to find everything that has been written in English about a certain author or about a certain person, all right, and I'm not going to be providing all. I'm going to find everything. I'm going to find documentaries. I'm going to find film series. I'm going to find movies. I'm going to find websites. I'm going to find video clips. I'm going to find interviews. I'm going to find newspaper clippings. I'm going to find books. I'm going to find it all, on a certain person. Let's say my one filter is that it has to be in English or whatever. That might take me a year to do it on a certain person. It depends on who it is, right? But it could be more than a year. But can you imagine, putting all that together, arranging it, categorizing it, and just the titles and where you can find the source, and maybe a line or two of what the source is about because there's so many. That used to be very valuable pre-internet days for people to have, and even now in the days of the internet, still there are some topics that, because they cover material that has never been uploaded to the internet, it's still worth going into an academic library and finding a bibliography on a certain topic. It's not as if it happens all the time, but they're still valuable. Okay, so the annotated bibliography, in terms of the professional piece that's 80, 90, 100, 150 pages long, about people or events or things that are objects for people's research. It has been very useful in the past, and it's been an accepted academic format for publication. So it's hard to move away from some of these assignments and some of these notions, and a lot of colleges still feel like it's important for you to know what an annotated bibliography is and how to do one. So let's go ahead and do one with the essays.